Welcome to another episode of the CarryTrainer Higher Line podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the CarryTrainer Higher Line podcast. We got to be right at about 100. This might be our 100th episode. I'll have to check. Who will know? We've got a good friend of ours on, Graig Davis of the NeoMag. And I think the first time I met you, I told you that I knew a guy growing up named Graig Davis that lived near me. Mm-hmm. And like his thing in high school was seeing how long he could grow his toenails. And like we'd be at like high school parties and Graig would take his shoes off and put his toes up on the table. And he had these like monster toenails, you know, like hanging off, like, and we'd all be like, oh my God. So that was my first thought when I met you for the first time.
Well, that explains why all the odd looks you gave me for the first year or so. All those memories flashing back.
and I also, for the viewers, you and I just talked offline. You're sporting a very sweet mustache.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig it.
I grown one that kind of as a joke a few years ago. Some other guys, we all decided to grow some joke mustaches. And honestly, after I grew it, I'm like, oh, actually, I kind of like this. Yeah. The last couple of years, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to do it.
Well, Graig and I were talking offline before we recorded here, and I don't know of any women that really like mustaches unless they were from like the 70s and 80s, but I dig them.
Yeah.
I've had mine. Hell, I could go get a razor and shave up right now.
Yeah.
Well, I just could be mustache buddies.
If I could grow a beard, I would have a beard. I want a beard so badly. Of all the things that I have to wrestle with God about, of why I don't care about being bald. In fact, I like not having hair, but give me a beard. So
that's the thing, huh? You go talk to your maker at night, and it's not. Yeah. Why do kids die of cancer, or why is war happen, or when is Jesus coming back? It's, can't I just have a beard?
Just let me connect, like on both sides of my. Yeah, I can't connect certain places, or
we always want what we can't have, man. And then you talk to a guy like I had a friend in high school that by the time we were seniors had like a beard to his shoulders, man. And he had hair growing out of everywhere, and we had to shave. We went to a private Christian school. Yeah. So he hated it because he had to shave every day. He'd have like a 5 o'clock shadow by like 10 a.m.
Right. Yep.
in high school, and he hated it. So.
Yep. I know. I have some friends that have the same thing, and I want to wring their necks when they complain about their 10 a.m. shadow.
Funny. Let's talk some serious stuff. People listening are going, what the heck are these dudes chatting about? Yeah. So you created, founded, and run the NeoMag, which for those of you that maybe recognize the logo right there, it's on your shirt and hat. Yep. And I sport this stuff from time to time. This is one of the ones that you made for us with, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's got the CarryTrainer logo on it. So by the way, before we start talking about this, can you see it, Graig? Can you see it? Does it show up?
Yeah, I can see there's something there. I can't see the details of the logo, but
does that do it?
It's not focusing.
No. Yeah, the lens can't do it. But the logo's on here. He laser etched the logo on here. So on this podcast, we're going to do a giveaway. You'll need to email us, training@carrytrainer.com. And during the course of this podcast, we'll figure out how we're going to do it. But we're going to give this one away to one of you. So let's talk a little bit. We'll talk a little brass tacks real quick.
Sure.
What this is, why you created it, and then you have a podcast with Jared from TA Targets where you guys talk about business, entrepreneurism, things like that. So you and I are just going to kind of kick around some of those things. You're a successful guy. What got you there? What you're doing to evolve and stay on top, and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Where do you want me to start?
The NeoMag. Well, you one day were like, man, I wish I had a way to hold a magazine in my pocket.
Pretty much. Yeah. I've been carrying for a few years at that point. And, I was probably like your average gun owner. I went and got my concealed carry and bought a gun and put the gun on my waistband and just walked around like that for a few years. And
okay.
It wasn't until a couple years later when I took my first first training course. And in that course, the instructors are talking about the importance of carrying a backup magazine. And even my instructors in that course are actually pulling magazines out of their pocket. And so I did the same thing for a while, mostly because I didn't want to add anything else to my waistband. You know, being a new carrier, just carrying a gun on my waistband was odd enough. So, but I hate even changing my pocket, let alone a loaded magazine, you know, flat at the bottom of my pocket. And then the more courses I took trying to draw that magazine out of my pocket, realizing if I'm in a situation where I need to reload, things are really bad and I need that reload to be perfect. So I looked around on the market for pocket mag holders, and there's like one thing at that time, but I didn't really like the design of it. And my background is engineering. I was an engineer at a retail display company, and we would build.
I actually never knew that about you. I did not know that.
Yeah. So I would build displays and hold them together with these rare earth magnets. So I look at the mag in my pocket and I'm like, I wonder if a magnet will stick to that. So I grab a magnet, stick it to it. Sure enough, it works. And I take the pocket clip off of my Spyderco, bend up some sheet metal, glue a magnet inside of it, and kind of carried that for a little while. Made a couple more for a few of my buddies that liked the idea, and we kind of had the proof of concept and just kind of went from there. Just I measured hundreds of magazines trying to figure out sizing, and
because it works with most. I haven't found a mag yet that I have for a gun I would carry that this doesn't work.
Right.
Unless it's like an all plastic, like ETS mag or a Magpul mag, because it is mag, but like size wise.
Yeah. And some Springfield XD magazines, it's the oddest thing. You can open up a brand new XD, one magazine will be magnetic and one won't.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
I thought those were all steel. So there's some of them that are non-ferrous metal, huh?
Right. Yep. Some older, I think, car magazines or something. There's just a couple out there that won't work. But basically what I figured out though is 3 sizes will cover pretty much every magazine. So our small NeoMag fits all 380, medium fits 9 and 40, and large fits 45.
Okay.
So if you have one of each of those sizes, you can carry just about everything out there.
And it's pretty simple, ingenious. It's like one of those, why didn't I think about it things, which is usually how good products work. I don't want to take this all apart, but you can see, can you see the picture you have on there of the jeans pocket?
Yeah.
So the whole purpose of this thing is it's a concealed carry. It allows that magazine to drop into your pants pocket. Now, if you're wearing skinny jeans or like a really well-fitted dress pant, you're going to have a magazine poking out. So you kind of got to buy your clothes accordingly. But all the person or people see is a clip. Like you said, you took one off of a blade. It looks like a blade clip and holds it there ready for a reload. You've got tons of videos. Pat McNamara's got some. I know I've got dozens of videos of us using them. You can reload pretty sporty with it with some training, and it's just a covert, comfortable way of having that backup mag. Right. So sales have been good.
Yeah, it's been great. So I came up with the idea in 2015, and I honestly thought I'd just be making them 10 at a time in my garage, but I kind of shown the idea in a EDC group on Facebook, and it blew up. I went. I basically went straight.
You're shipping thousands of them to companies now, and
countries. I've been full time for a couple of years. We just moved into a new, new to us, to a new facility, 2,200 square foot shop. I got one other full time guy and 2 part time guys. Probably
good old Dusty Ball.
Good old Dusty Ball. He's out there working right now, keeping things going while I'm in here chatting with you.
Good.
Yeah.
So you've got that product, and then you've got this one, which a lot of people that depending on if you have a carbine for any reason, if you're law enforcement, military, or you're like us, that you just have a carbine as a truck gun, the gun that sits on the shelf for the fateful day you need it, you came up with this product that retains the sling. And there's guys that use rubber bands. Like we know dudes that were deployed, they use rubber bands, they use all kinds of things. And this might seem like for some of you folks a weird concept, but if you play around enough with a carbine and you've got a sling that gets hung up, this is a really cool product that when I pick it up, that the only thing holding it is this rare earth magnet. So you use the same magnets that you're using. And what's the name on this one? It's the Century Strap.
Century Strap, yeah.
And it's so really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a elastic strap with Velcro on it that permanently attaches to your gun, so that it won't come flying off. And then there's a secondary strap with a magnet.
By permanently, it's just Velcro, like
so right. Yeah, it's just Velcro.
It or
yeah. But it's also I've seen concepts before where the whole thing comes flying off when you pull your sling. So.
Which is like great if you've got an unlimited inventory and you're just able to go put another one on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are super simple idea. Again, cool, easy installation. I could take it off of this gun in 2 seconds and put it on another, right?
Yep.
Is there any other products that you guys are producing right now?
So we have the Rask, which I think you have a couple of those. So that's an acronym for Revolver Ammunition Strip Concealment. It's a little piece that we CNC machine in-house that adds a pocket clip to a speed strip or quick strip for your revolver. So it's kind of the same thing. After I came out with the NeoMag, I had a bunch of guys asking me for a solution for the guys that carry a revolver. My response for years was, why would I make something for the both of you that carry a revolver out there? But I'd end up coming up with something, and honestly, it's been doing great. It's pretty amazing to find out about the revolver community out there. They're diehard and they're proficient with them. So
I was just talking yesterday with the folks from down at Apex Triggers and talking about fads as we started. Your mustache, like once upon a time, that was cool, man. You had a stash. Like you think of like Wyatt Earp or General Custer or President Teddy Roosevelt, big, strong mustache men. Right. And then Tom Selleck, come on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, mustaches were synonymous with porno and dudes with minivans and popsicles and rags with chloroform on them, right?
Now I'm trying to break that.
Now they're cool again, right? So like we're talking about like the 92s that I shoot, the Berettas.
Yeah.
Or another example, appendix carry. 3-4 years ago, people would say to me, and it's not like I was not any trendsetter, but folks would say like, you carry that way? And I carry on the hip and appendix. Now there's folks like guys will come up to me or they'll comment, you carry on your hip, like loser. And like, it just goes so back and forth. But revolvers, man, I think that in the next, 5 years, not even 2 years, it'll be like the jam. Like all of a sudden, everybody you see on social media is shooting double singles. Like even if they just buy one, it's to have it. You're going to see dudes going bonkers on revolvers again. I guarantee you. In the next year or two.
I know of quite a few people that told me after I came out with the Rask, there were people that went and bought a revolver because now they had a better way to carry the ammo. So it was crazy to see and hear that there's people buying a $25 Rask and then going to spend hundreds on a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm kind of hoping in the next couple of years we'll have a bunch of guys with strong mustaches carrying wheel guns again.
Hell yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Heck yeah, man. I like it. So let's talk a little bit about business philosophy. You've got a family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that had to be a big deal with your wife for you to leave a good job and go out on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was, there was a lot of thought and a lot of talk that went behind it. And I give a lot of the credit to my accountant that I'm pretty good friends with. We go way back and he had told me, he was like, if you're willing to be patient and keep working, basically I was working 2 full-time jobs. He was like, if you can save up your year's salary and just put it in an account, and then, so that way when you quit your job, you're not just going cold turkey and going month to month. So that's what I did. I strapped down, pinch pennies and save up a salary for a year. And then I yeah. And then
That's pretty cool. Most
went and quit my job.
of the, I'm sorry, I cut you off, bro.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
You hear a lot of, I mean, I'm guilty of it. Everything I've tried has been bootstrapping like you did, but most people don't have the thought process to plan out and then really do the hard work to save the money. And a lot of people that are good savers like that, well, I'm not going to quit my job and then just go burn through all my savings on some pipe dream. So you believed in yourself enough to, God, I can't get over that mustache.
I know.
Can't get over.
So good.
But you believed in yourself enough to put in all that effort, save the cash, and then I'm sure for a little bit, I'm guessing you're spending, paying the mortgage, paying the car payments, buying groceries, and you're not seeing that paycheck come in every week. Did you have any time where you were like,
Thank God, no, really. I feel so blessed in just kind of how things got started. And a lot of it is because, so my wife's a teacher.
Okay.
She has a really, really good job at a great district, and she gets, she has great benefits.
Ohio, by the way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And she gets a lot of great benefits and stuff. So that alone just makes things a lot easier. Still walking away from a great job. I loved my job. It paid well and everything. But I think it was to the point where, I was waking up at like 3 a.m, working on NeoMag until 7 a.m, going to my day job, coming home, eat dinner with the family. I think at that time, two young kids with maybe one on the way. And then put the family to bed, and I was back to work until midnight. Then I'd sleep 3 or more hours. I did that for years. And it was honestly to the point where it had to happen. Either I was going to sell off NeoMag and be done with it, or I had to go full time with it because just the mental, physical, and what it took, from my family was great and very understanding, for how much time that took for me to do it. So honestly, I think when that day come and I decided to, when me and my wife decided that it was time for me to quit, it was a big relief. And business is going well. I not only had my next year's salary already set aside, but things are going well. And so I think I'm just so thankful for how kind of smoothly things went. There was a little bit of fear at walking away from a job, but I also knew if I needed to go back to that job that they would take me.
Yeah.
And I still could if I needed to, but
sure. Or
so
some other job.
Yeah. And I was actually listening to your and Ryan's conversation. Your
cool.
guys' podcast.
Just so you guys are listening or watching, he's talking about a podcast I do with Ryan from Embrace the Recoil, who's also a business owner. Go on.
Yeah. I love Ryan and I love his, when you talk to him, just about his story, he's like, yeah, I quit my good job, but I can get another job if I need to. And so you got to weigh that risk and the risk and reward and have a backup plan and everything like that. But it's at some point you got to be able to just to walk away. And
I'm not a backup plan guy.
The
backup plan is I'll sort it, Yeah. But that's just me.
Just
me.
Well, and that's, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. If you're confident of what you're jumping into, then you'll worry about a backup plan if it needs to happen.
You think entrepreneurs are born or made or both?
I never ever thought that I would be an entrepreneur. I've never taken a business class in my life.
Most entrepreneurs never have.
Right. I do think you have to have a certain mindset, a certain drive, because things don't happen if I don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's why I still, when I quit my job and went full time with NeoMag, I was still waking up at the same time, still getting my shower, still getting dressed. I've never come to work in my PJs, as much as I could if I wanted to. I take this seriously. I love what I do, and so that's how I attack it. So I think, I guess to answer your question, I think
you're not doing it because you wanted to get away from work. You're doing it because the work is something that you care about. And I think I hear from folks like you and I've talked about this, Ryan and I, Jared and I, and 100 other guys I know that are in business. Must be nice, Craig. Must be nice to be able to work for yourself. Like you just said, up at 3, back in bed at midnight. And now you still treat it as a profession, as a job. The goal wasn't, I want to be on a beach just, selling surfboard wax. You're still cranking, grinding, working. Everybody I know that makes money or has any measure of real success, you probably have to fight the urge to not answer emails at dinner or when you're on the couch with your wife watching TV at night or whatever. Yep. I'm sure you're the kind of guy that measures that well, but sometimes you probably want to. I could probably just get one more email out.
If people knew, at 9 or 10 o'clock on a Thursday night or Sunday night, when they're getting a message back, I'm probably sitting in my PJs on my couch watching, that 1 hour that the week that I'm able to sit down and watch something or whatever. I mean, I'm probably sitting around with my kids or something, but that is something that especially over the last year that I've gotten a lot better at, of just trying to respect that time when I'm home. And actually just within the last couple of months, my previous shop was in my backyard. It was it was a 600 square foot garage in my backyard. So it was really hard to separate from work then, because I could walk out to my backyard, start up the CNC, walk back into the house, 30 minutes later, go back out and change it. So I was kind of back and forth a lot, but now that I'm here and I actually lock a door and drive away from it, it's definitely something that I'm a lot better at that.
I dig it. Yeah. There's a balance that I think we find. And I talked to a friend of mine today that's selling a business. He's been in multiple businesses, and he said, this was his exact words: I spent 25 years in that world, and I'm ready to make it simple. And he wants to ride his horses and go on road trips with his wife. He's not retiring, but he's just he's gonna take a huge pay cut to walk away from self-employment to go do whatever he's gonna do. But it's like, for him, you had to find what makes him happy, and he said, I don't want to be a billionaire anymore. I'm not trying to rule the world. And that was his thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. He said, I'm not willing to do all the things required to have that level of success anymore. And some people are. Some people want to build skyscrapers, and not that that's what you or I are doing, but you have to find, does this fit the life I want? Do I want to be at dinner with my kids and having to pound away on messages, and is that the thing you want to pass on to them?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why, I talked to my wife about it a lot, because, I think a lot of people think that teachers only work when they're at school and they get everything done there, and they only work from 9 to 3, and then they have 3 months off in the summer. But my wife works probably just as much, if not more than me sometimes. And
sure, I'm sure.
And so we both have to sit down and just kind of remind each other, hey, when we're home, we only have a few hours with our kids before it's time to put them back to bed again. And so, you have to be really conscious of that, because it's so easy just to want to flip open the laptop and, this will take 1 or 2 minutes to send this email back. But the problem is, I know once I flip the laptop open, I'm going to have 50 other things that'll take.
You'll see some messages. You'll have a to-do list.
Yeah. But at the same time, as a small business owner, and this, it's only going to get done if you do it. And there's only so many hours in a day to get those things done.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to work those late nights, or sometimes you have to be willing to sacrifice possibly some family time, possibly some downtime that you used to be able to sit back and watch The Office for 3 hours. You can't do that anymore because there's work to get done.
Yeah. That kind of begs the question of when people talk about that must be nice thing, my instant judgment of that person is you're lazy. And it sounds mean, but like this sounds stupid. I'll have a load of firewood delivered that I have to split and stack, or just stack if I bought it split. And it might take me 8 or 10 hours. And I'm like, cool, man. I'll throw some earbuds in and like, how many wheelbarrow loads can I run in 10 minutes? And I'll set the timer on my watch. Like, that's fun to me.
Yeah.
And would I want to do that every day? No, I did physical work for 20 years. I don't want to go do that every day, but somebody else would be like, oh crap, I got to go move firewood for an 8-hour day. Like, well, that's the difference, man. Or I have to go grind out another 1,000 of these. To you, you're like 1,000 equals X amount of dollars of profit and 1,000 more happy customers. Somebody else thinks 1,000 more of those. It's like a mindset. It's a definite mindset thing. Yeah. Comments on that?
Yeah, I think, you have to have a got to get it done mindset. And I do hate when people throw that "it must be nice" thing out, because if people knew how much work it's taken to get to the point where I only have to work 60 hours a week now instead of it. One of the things I would, that me and Jared would say is, the nice thing about being a small business owner is you get to choose what 80 hours of work what 80 hours that you're going to work that week. It's just I can go to the range during the week, and frankly, now that's kind of an important part of my job. But I can go to the range. I can take off the afternoon and go to my kids' Valentine's Day event that I just went to at our school. I've got the freedom to do those things now and not have to beg my boss to be able to do that. It must be nice to be able to do that. It is. It's taken me, but it's taken me 5 years. It's taken me a lack of sleep, and it's taken a tax on my family. It's cost. I think to most people, if they saw what it took to be able to get to there for what it must be nice to be able to do, they would say it's not worth it.
Yeah. Which is why I said lazy, and I don't want anybody to listen to that and think I'm being rude. There's nothing wrong with having a career working for somebody. Not that you need me to say that. That's not what I'm saying. But if that's how your brain's wired, that's cool. But don't assume that somebody that's out there is this rift where people think the boss, the owner, the corporation is somehow bad because you report to them. You choose to report to them. You choose to go grab that time card. You choose to sign up for their 401k. You choose to get on their insurance plan. My wife's working so we can have insurance. That's your choice. That's your choice. You do these things. People do those things, and it's, well, what other options do I have? You could start a business. You could, go join a convent. You could go join a monastery. You could go join the Peace Corps. You could go join the military. You could go be a homeless guy.
Yeah. Just because you're 4 years of high school, or your teachers told you that's what your next steps are. Go to college, work for the man. Yeah. Just because I told you that doesn't mean that has to be what you do.
You've done a really good job professionalizing your business. There's a lot of businesses in this space. When I talk to those listening and viewing, like in the quote unquote gun community, which I don't like the term industry, because you're in the industry, but because somebody takes pictures of themselves online with a gun, they're not like in an industry, or because they repost pictures of guns that were taken with like a nice camera. That's not an industry. But there's a lot of folks that are in this business that have product, training, and they're unprofessional as all get up. In professionalism, it's not just like nice packaging. Like you've you've got nice packaging, you've got a well thought out office, you've got nice apparel, but you guys have created like a legitimate business with customer service support and people that promote it that you value, and American products. Is this all American stuff?
There's a couple.
Do magnets come from America?
No, unfortunately, the only place you can get neodymium magnets is from China. Okay. So,
where are they mined from? Is there like a planet that they come from? Where do the magnets come from?
No, I think it's from. I think last I researched it was like it's from China. It's from.
Is there like a mountain that's like magnetized?
It's from Asia that they. Yeah, like there's an element called neodymium that's mined. Yeah.
It must stick to all the tools.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I'm just thinking about that. Walking out of the mine and like your belt buckle's got like 8 pounds of dust stuck to it. There's some scientists right now going, "You idiot, it doesn't work that way." Well, I don't know. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that you've done a really good job creating a very professional product. Even that slatboard wall back there, that's pretty nice. Did you bust your pallets up, or did you go to Home Depot and buy like a box of pallet?
Better. I have a buddy.
Pinteresty.
It is. And actually, you can't really see, but the whole like 3 foot.
You did a wainscot around
down the whole way around. Yeah, the whole way around has wood too. But no, I have a buddy who owns a mulch making company, and they make their mulch from pallets. So I called him up and I was like, "Hey, do you have any pallets?" And he just replied LOL and took a picture of like 1 billion pallets. Yeah, just like I've already cut the pallet slat. So I went over to my truck and he dropped a pallet in, so I didn't have to break up any pallets or anything. But no, I think my background in retail displays has played a massive role in pretty much everything that I have learned to do to run this business. Everywhere from, from engineering, which I do my own engineering. I do my own project management. I do, like all these things that it's taken me, that I learned from my past jobs. And one of the things that I learned just from that industry is marketing a little bit. Plus I'm creative, artistic. And so I like things to look nice. I want things to look inviting. I want people to be
aesthetics. Yeah.
And I want people to be proud to own our products. And I think about all the, I know this isn't true for everybody, but I love supporting other people and then their companies and their products. Obviously if it's not a good product, I'm not going to buy it. But if there are 2 products, pretty equally in form and function, but I know the one company, I'm going to buy from them. I like them and I support them. And that's something that I've put a lot of work into since day one is the relational side of the party industry. Is showing up to that first year, showing up to SHOT Show and just trying to shake as many hands as I could and meet as many people as I could. And on social media, trying to, it's becoming harder and harder to do. I used to pretty much know everybody that followed me, and I can't anymore, but I really go out of my way. And so does Dusty. Dusty's really good at this to actually have a relationship with those people. The people that we call ambassadors, we also call friends. They're people that we strive to build relationships with. And I just think all that goes.
It's authentic, man. It's authentic. And people sense inauthenticity. Humans sense that. Yeah.
And if anybody's ever had to deal with our customer service, they learn really quickly that the first thing we care about is taking care of them, and the last thing we care about is making a buck off of it. If somebody has an issue or a question or anything like that, we do what it takes to take care of that and get it right, and then we worry about do we make any money off of that.
Let's talk about that for a minute. I want to sidetrack you for a minute. You know, I've been in business most of my adult life in one way, shape, or form. And it's interesting. I'll meet guys that are in whatever business and they talk about their customers. And so often you pick up on this, you hear people talk in an adversarial way about whoever's buying their stuff. Could be a mechanic, could be a restaurant owner, could be a firearms instructor, or, you know, whoever. And they talk like, oh God, yeah, these people annoy me. And they've got this adversarial relationship or viewpoint towards the person that's feeding them. And we all get somebody that's annoying, or that's problematic, but that's a different story. And then they are always constantly looking how much I can squeeze. You know, well, yeah, I'll warranty it, but you got to pay for the shipment. Or, yeah, I'll you know, try to help you out with some information when I have time. I built my first business. Like I get phone calls still for stuff I have nothing to do with. Hey, do you know a guy that can help me with a commercial roofing job? Yeah, I do. Give me 5 minutes. I'll send you 3 names. Like, I haven't touched that world in years, but why would I not pass on my friend's phone number? Why would I not help this person, even though I'm getting nothing out of it? And I am getting nothing out of it. And I wired myself to do that. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. Is it's not about just satiating the customer so they get off your back. It's doing the right thing, which so hard for people to understand this. They think, yeah, but you're only doing it because you're benefiting. Like, no, that's not it. Like, it's actually the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah, I think people come first. I truly value people and relationships, and I'm not looking to make, I don't know. I'm not looking to just take money from people. I'm looking to give. I'm looking to trade. Yeah, I'm not looking to trade money, but I'm looking to give them back something that hopefully has even greater value to them.
Symbiosis.
Yeah. I want to give somebody something that has more value than the money that they're giving me. And that's not only just in the product that you're giving them, but it's also in the experience you're giving them. It's in the customer service thing. That's, if I'm out training with somebody, it's throwing them ammo if they need to. It's just really all of it goes around to taking care of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make a good product and you stand behind it, you take care of people, then things are going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
That's proven well for us.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I do business with a guy in my area he's really busy, but like he's very aloof, and he's drawn some hard boundaries between himself and customers. And he's in the automotive business, so you know, people constantly, hey, how much for this, how much for that, or shopping and wanting him to be super accessible. He uses a Google number. I've known the guy for a long time. I don't have his real phone number. I have to, you know, dial up the Google number. And if he doesn't answer, I leave him a message. And he's successful, but he's drawn like a hard line. Like I'll say, hey, I'll text you the time I'm going to be there. And then I'll remember, I can't text you. And like, that's one real hard side of the spectrum, but he's drawn like super hard boundaries, what he's willing to do, what he's not willing to do. And then the customer gets to decide, am I willing to do business with you? But on the flip side, the service he provides is impeccable, and he's spot on. So there's like a trade-off.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I can see the turnoff for some people with that, but if he's willing to crush the customer service side and taking care of people side, because recently I've felt this where I met somebody and I want to support them in their company. So I made a purchase and just try to follow up with them just on, just on a personal level, and got back nothing, just kind of got back. It's just, I could tell there's a wall there, and it kind of turned me off. I'm like, obviously he doesn't really care about I don't care that he doesn't want to be friends with me. That's not at all. But it just felt to me like it was just a money transaction, and that's all I cared about.
Sure.
And,
it's just business, kid.
Yeah. And
Go.
And there's time for that, but I also try to, I also want to try to give people the feeling, and not just the feeling because it's a feeling, but I want to prove to people that I care about them too. And I can't be friends with everybody that buys something from us, but I mean, that's one thing that me and Dusty, we try to help each other out sometimes, because somebody calls a shop here and has a question, like 20 minutes later, we're still talking gun stuff with them. And,
yeah.
And we're like, hey, sometimes we'll have to tap each other on the shoulder and say, hey man, you might want to try to get off the phone. We got work to do. But
yeah. That's part of it. Like, we can't always be grinding out parts or making sales too. There's a fine line between that. There's some people, I have a family member that is always in the relationship building stage, always in like the product development stage of life. Sometimes you got to get out there and pound some nails or grind some parts. But sometimes you have to kiss babies and shake hands and do all that. And there's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Ben from Boresight Solutions, man, if somebody's a legitimate customer and he's really good at this, feeling people out, he gets calls constantly. Hey, how much to chop my Glock up? He'll be like, yeah, no, because he knows like that person is not his customer. But if you call and say, hey, I found out about you from Craig. What do you do? What can you do for my gun? Man, he'll spend 45 minutes or an hour with that person, educating the crap out of them. And even if they never buy, that person is left knowing this dude cares about me and is not just trying to take my money. And he'll tell people. I videoed him at his shop telling a guy, I don't want your 3 guns. I want the 1 gun that you carry, because like he was telling him, let me build 1 so you understand it before you give me all this money, and then we make you a bunch of crap that doesn't really serve you well. And that's a good dude, because he could have taken 3 times the guy's money, but did the right thing.
Right.
But took time to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah, it is. And it's, just being willing and able to, because I know how tough it is to be, especially a 1-man shop and trying to answer phones as well as get everything made. But it's so important to make that time for your customers. And
I have a response to emails all the time. Call me, and my phone number's in the tagline. People email like 19 questions. Hey, I want to come to the S12 event. Blah blah blah. Did you have vegan food? And then call me. I'll just talk, because and then you end up having that 45-minute conversation and build a relationship, or say, hey, this isn't for you. You're a vegan, you weirdo. I'm just kidding.
There's no vegan food.
That's a joke. You're looking kind of hipsterish, so you might be like, you have kombucha on the counter at home rotting in a jar right now?
No, but I do like kombucha.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have like the stuff with the sludge on top, the homemade, the legit kombucha?
Yeah, actually I do.
You do?
I haven't made it in a long time. I used to make it.
I knew it! With that mustache, I knew it!
The mustache is new within the past few weeks. I made kombucha years ago.
You're letting out your true hipster self.
No, I actually make it because I have like GERD. I have like acid reflux, and I found that kombucha and stuff like that helps.
Do you drink alcohol?
Rarely.
Okay. It's interesting though, because the kombucha, I've read that. I have a friend that has GERD, and he drinks whiskey, and that, of course, loosens the sphincter in the esophagus, and then you lay in bed at night.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I used to really enjoy brewing beer too, but having 5 gallons of beer in a keg in my fridge with
you and Dusty laying on the garage floor, passed out.
No, he doesn't like beer. He likes fruity drinks.
I was gonna say he's probably like a Chardonnay kind of a guy. Dusty, I love you, even though you do like rosé. That's cool. I like it. What What do you think your biggest challenges are moving forward? We talked a little bit yesterday on the phone. You said for a while you would give thought to the knockoffs coming on the market. Asian markets are really good at knocking stuff off. You take a look at this part and you've done all the hard work. Somebody could say, oh yeah, I can bust one of those out and sell it for half the cost. Like,
Yep.
How do you deal with that?
I really think at the core, the answer is you got to keep going. You got to keep innovating new products. You got to keep advancing and improving your product. So the Chinese knockoff that exists is based off like version 2 of the NeoMag. I've made improvements over the years. I'm constantly tweaking things when I'm machining the parts of the NeoMag, or we're hand bending the titanium clips and all those things. We're continually trying to improve.
You hand bend all those clips?
Every one of those clips is hand bent one at a time on a break. Yeah. Yep.
My eye just started twitching. You've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of them.
Yep.
You hand bent them all. Hand bent.
Yep. And we use titanium. The Chinese one uses like spray painted steel. I think this also comes around. It also comes around to you're from my experience so far, you're going to survive those things as long as you do everything else we were just talking about with customer service and marketing and all those things. The Chinese knockoff is feeding off the stray cheap people that see our marketing, see our product, and have no conscience, I think. And just straight bored, just consuming. Yeah. And all they see is the dollars, and they don't really have any true, I don't know, need for the product or whatever. So, those are the people who are buying those. And we were talking the other day. I said, I bet 3/4 of the people who buy those weren't going to be my customer anyway. And frankly, I don't want a lot of those people. I probably don't want as my customers. They're going to be the customer service nightmare. And I've experienced a number of people who have bought those and came running to us after the thing broke after a couple weeks. Because they kind of got to taste how the thing, because at least that first day, it's going to work. It's going to work like a NeoMag. And they come to find out, hey, this is a good solution. And so then they come to us and they want the real thing, and they want the real customer service. They want, and the real warranty. I mean, we offer a lifetime warranty on it. And
you have a US patent.
Yep. Yeah. I have 1 utility and 2 design patents on it, which I've got a love-hate relationship with patents. In order to go after somebody in China, it's going to cost more than what I perceive our possible losses are on them selling those. But I guess to go back to answer your question, I think, for us, it's been continue to improve the product, back up your product, and continue to work on new products and evolve with the, you have to continually be working and pushing. And I would love to eradicate the earth of the knockoffs and that sort of thing, and it did used to consume a lot of my thought and my worry and my time. And I just came to realize, as much time as I was spending trying to figure out where they're coming from and who's making them and talking
you could be back in your shop making your own. Right.
And, talking to patent attorneys and stuff like that, like the amount of time that I started putting into that stuff, I'm like, man, I probably could have come up with another product by now, or I don't know, done something that was actually going to make me money.
Andy Dufresne said it best: "Get busy living or get busy dying."
There you go.
Yeah, man, you spend all your energy
Andy
just
Dufresne.
chasing somebody else. It doesn't get you anywhere. Andy Dufresne was a character in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Andy Dufresne.
I had a conversation with Ernest Langdon a couple days ago, and he was talking about his wife Amy brought up somebody, drills with guns. It's funny. Like I saw somebody on Instagram the other day posted like, this is the NeoMag drill. And that wasn't what it was, but you look, it's like, that's not the NeoMag drill. That's Bob's drill, from 30 years ago. But there's only so many ways you can present a rifle or draw a pistol and shoot static targets. And,
right.
Eventually we humans come up with like the Bill drill. Bill Wilson of Wilson Combat created that. I guarantee somebody before and after Bill had the thought on their own to draw and shoot a target 6 times, which in that case is an A zone at 7 yards. But Amy was like, that guy, that's literally your stuff. And it was really specific. It's a pretty specific drill. And Ernest is like, yep. Like, what am I going to, like, we're over here building Langdon Tactical Technologies. And this wasn't like a big deal between he and his wife, but he's like, yep, what am I going to do? Go like stop running a company with a bunch of employees and product to go tell a guy like, hey, that's mine.
Yeah.
Like you can't. And that guy or gal that does that is only ever going to get people to support them that are in, this was your point, you don't want them as a customer anyway. Like I don't want people. I know McDonald's and things like that exist for a reason, and I'm not bad-mouthing somebody based on their income, but I don't want to strive to be able to afford McDonald's. I don't want to strive to eat shit food. I don't want to strive to have the cheap stuff. And it's not because I want to spend money. I like quality. So I don't want people that are going to argue with me that the Taurus G2 whatever is an okay pistol. Have it, man. Shoot it. I don't care. But like I'm going to go have my Boresight Solutions Glock, and maybe it's the only gun I own. It took me a year to save the money for it. I want that.
Yeah.
You're a snob.
And that's the other, I don't think the only thing the only conclusion I can come to when people complain about the price. Now I realize this isn't.
How much do these cost? What's the retail right now on your internet? $39-$40?
40, yeah. And most places you'll see it for 35. We sell at MSRP, but there's MAP pricing out there. So you can get them for 35. We have sales a couple times a year and that sort of thing. So when people complain about the price and they go and buy the Chinese one, which is like half the price, like you're talking about $20 here, and that person really doesn't need it or they're just inherently cheap. I don't know, because you're not talking about the difference between a Honda Civic and a Ferrari.
Winning. It's literally in my mind. It's about winning. It's like when somebody goes to buy a car and they want to I'm going to screw this place over. Well, wait, shouldn't they have to pay the electric bill? I think it's not about the $20. It's about winning. F you. You think this is $39. I think it's worth 20, and that's all. It's just bent up sheet metal.
Yeah.
In a freaking magnet, like that. It's like winning in their head. I want to beat you.
Yeah, that must be it. Because I'm like, you've got $20 more. Don't go to Starbucks 2 more times.
Right.
You've got it. So yeah, that's what I get all riled up with this, but I just,
that same dude's got a wall of guns.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stupid gear that he doesn't need. By that, I've got it too. I literally have 500 holsters, maybe 1,000. I don't know. I mean, I have boxes and crates of holsters. If each of them was only worth $10, you're just talking thousands of dollars, yes, be more judicious. Well, what's the old saying? Buy once or cry once, buy once. Buy it right. Instead of just be more judicious in your purchase, and then you don't have an issue to begin with. That's a mindset too.
Yeah. And that is something I used to be that person. And
how so?
I was.
You always wanted to find the cheapest thing?
I was, yeah, I mean, I was always trying to find the cheapest way to do something. And, um, once I had my own business and that completely changed my mindset. I wish everybody could experience having to sell a product in order to live, in order to make their money, because it really makes you appreciate more what it takes. So it changed my mind a lot on where I spend my money. I'm willing to spend, maybe this is something that just comes with age too, but
you get sick of bullshit.
I went through buying enough of those cheap things and them going wrong, and then deciding, okay, I am going to buy the right thing, which does cost double what I just bought. But I learned quickly, now I'm out that thing that costs half as much and the thing that costs the full amount, and I'm happier, and I've got a better product now, buying the better product, even though it costs more. And so it usually ends up costing you more because you're buying the cheap thing, and eventually you're going to learn and you're going to buy the right thing, or you're going to keep buying that cheap thing over and over again and realize, hey, I could have bought.
Not to mention the time invested. I've got a friend that he'll spend a freaking month shopping, driving, calling, emailing to save $11 on something. And I know frugality's got benefits, but like, dude, you just spent hours of your life researching who's going to give you the best deal on the set of tires. And I get it, $10 or $100 or whatever's worth it, but like, I'm not going to, I mean, I look around, of course, but like I got a guy here in town that I get my tires from. I tell him I want this model, and he knows my truck because he services it. When can you put them on? And he'll order them and put them on. And maybe I pay him 5% more, but like back to our talking about the relationships. When I call him, he takes care of me. I refer people to him. We are friends. It's loyalty.
Yeah.
That's worth way more than $10 or $100 often.
I'm definitely willing to pay a little bit more if it saves me time. I mean, time is just one thing. I don't
get it back, bro.
Yeah. Once a time's gone, it's gone, and I can't imagine spending a month trying to find the right place to get the right tires. Like I'm calling 2 places probably, and I may end up going to the place that's more expensive if the guy was willing to answer my questions, didn't sound annoyed that I was calling him, and his tires are more, I'm probably going to go there than the guy that sounded annoyed that I called him, trying to buy the same tires for less. So
add to that the nuances of the quality of workmanship. Are they going to get in your truck with dirty boots? Are they going to put a piece of paper down? Are they going to have their greasy hands all over your steering wheel as they pull it into the shop? Or are they going to put gloves on or wash their hands? Are they going to take care and not trashing your rims as they reseat the new tires? And it's just all of that stuff. Like, I constantly compare it to fast food. Like, I'm hungry. You can eat that, and you might be used to feeling like shit, thus you don't realize you're actually feeling like shit. Or you can spend a little bit more and not feel like shit and have something that's good for you. Oh, that it doesn't equate like that to me. Somebody told me the other day, it's unfortunate that that healthy food costs more. Well, it costs more because somebody had to grow it, and they have to ship it in refrigerated trucks, and it rots, and it doesn't sit on a shelf for a year. And when it rots, it goes in the garbage. And it's the mindset again. Like, you're looking at it from the wrong perspective.
Yeah,
they need a mustache and kombucha.
They do. Sounds good.
I've said this 100 times. The butcher shop in my hometown growing up, sign over the counter: good meats, not cheap. Cheap meats, not good. Been there. The butcher shop's like 90 years old. It's a big old hand-painted wooden sign. Good meats, not cheap. Cheap meats, not good. And you think about it, you apply that to anything. Good shoes aren't cheap. Cheap shoes aren't good. And like anything, it's because nobody's going to give their life to build a product like that. I think I want to make no money on this. and
Right.
scrape by. Like, I'd rather a guy's making a good living and has a good night's sleep so he can keep innovating and answer my phone calls and like all the ammo that came out. Remember the last 5 years, all of the companies that sprang up, I'm going to sell 9mm for cheaper than everybody. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what a squib is. Hold on. Like, just let's shoot for a minute and I will show you.
Let me show you.
Yeah. Remember that? Dudes
Yeah.
having, and now all those companies are gone.
Gone. Yeah.
They cheaper, not able to earn a profit. Even Freedom Munitions, gone. They couldn't make any money.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's a race to the bottom, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And you get wrapped up in it, and then, I'll step off that train.
Yeah.
Or out of that race, rather.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, that's one of the things that me and Jared would talk about on the podcast a lot, which by the way, we're actually taking a little hiatus from it. Just,
because you're both so busy.
Yeah. It was getting harder and harder to put the time into it. And then when we did it just, we weren't happy with the product.
Again, he's talking about Jared from TA Targets.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we would talk about pretty often, because they don't make the cheapest targets. They make probably one of the more expensive targets, but
top of the stuff in the industry, though.
But yeah, exactly. When you put it next to the other guys, and like after a full day of shooting, you're going to see just after one day a difference between the two. And
I argue about their stuff constantly with people. I can buy something for $100. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and then enjoy. By the end of the month, you're going to be dodging those bullets coming back at you because it's domed out. And yep. Yeah.
And that comes down to that mindset thing again. Like, what are you going to, I was talking with we have the gunfighter gun oil, which I've got a bottle right here. This is some of the formula of this stuff is not cheap. It costs a lot of money to buy the raw product to make it, but it's the best oil on the market. Like, it's better than all the other oil companies. There's top oil companies that say theirs is the best, but it's not. And it's not just like my opinion. This stuff is made with like the best ingredients that money can buy for oil. And there's some people that say, I don't care. And that's okay. You can buy the other oil, and for most people that'll work just fine. But if you want to buy this stuff, then that's it, man.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's just some people just like the best.
And I understand it, because I've been there. I understand that people that you're not in a position where you can spend the money for a TA targets, for a NeoMag, for gunfire oils. And so you buy what you can afford. And this is one of those things where I've had this conversation recently with a couple people. It's about the NeoMag specifically, but I think it can be applied a lot of different places. Is when is it okay to purchase what you can afford, which is the cheaper option, and when is it not okay to buy? Why is it not okay to buy a knockoff?
Yeah,
but it's okay to buy it. And I told some of these people, I will point you happily in the direction of my competitors. Check these guys out. Each of their products has pros and cons from the NeoMag. I will happily point them in those directions, some of which cost you less than mine. I wouldn't even think about pointing them to the NeoMag knockoff. There's a lot of reasons for that. One, because they're knocking my product off, but two, it's also not safe. But trying to get people to realize, yeah, it might take you 6 months to save up for the NeoMag versus, yeah, you could go buy the Chinese one now. But just trying to get people to think about that, think about the difference between buying a cheaper version, a different, like a competitor versus a copy, and just trying to get people to think constructively about that. I've had some pretty good conversations lately with some people about that. But that's tough. I think, a lot of people don't see the difference in that. Oh, what do you
You know,
think about that?
what I think, it just made me think of your story about saving a year's salary. Had you ever saved a year's salary in your life prior to that?
I hadn't saved anything remotely close to that much money ever.
So here's what it just made me think of. Something as simple as buying this or I'm with you. There was a time in my life I had to go to my boss and ask to borrow $20 so I could bring home a package of diapers for my then infant son. There's times I've had to frickin' dig under my floor mats to find 50 cents to put in the truck's tank to get home. So I've been there where these products were not only not something I could afford, but it was something I wouldn't even have dreamed of having the capital to invest in. But the mindset of I'm not going to buy this because I don't have the money, and I'm not going to go buy the cheap one because it's a bad thing, and I'm going to instead save for it. Man, you doing that with a year of salary, what a cultivation of self. And that's a big, because you could have, nothing stopped you from saving before that. Not like that. Like you could have saved, excuse me. But what like a reinvention of self. So now all of a sudden for a product that's $40, you don't go get 2 cups of coffee. So now what are you learning? Self-control, discipline, goal setting, applying action to a goal. I mean, that's like Sunday school kind of stuff, the way we're looking at it. But like, if you do that, okay, easy. I didn't go to Starbucks twice and get my Frappuccino for $10. Now I have the extra $20 for the NeoMag. Now I want that radiant weapon instead of the bolt together piece of shit. Might take me 4 months. I'm not going to go to McDonald's for lunch. I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy cold cuts and a loaf of bread and make my lunch. And it's like you're building discipline. I want to lose weight. Okay, stop the 6-pack of beer and have 2, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that popped in my head as you were talking about that. It's not just about buying the better product or being a saver or you're reinventing yourself. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think of everything that I've had to sacrifice for or work for, and that could be something as little as I don't know. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but just the most simple thing that took some reservation and some thought and sacrifice of some sort, all the way to saving up a whole year's salary before I could quit my job. I think you're going to feel a lot better about, one, about yourself, 2, about your purchase, because you had to sacrifice for it. And yeah, I agree with it. I think you're going to
end up taking better care of it.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing is. Yeah,
for sure.
It is that's Bushido, man. That's the way. That is like a path of life. It's not just being a consumer.
Yeah. If you're purely just a consumer and just like that instant consumer, and as much as I love Amazon,
dude, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I think that's for everybody, because they're that model of
I'm gonna
instant,
look something up while you're talking. Keep going.
They're that model of instant gratification for what's usually cheaper, and you get it quicker. But unfortunately, it's kind of it's ruining just as many things as it is benefiting. I mean, I'll admit, I order almost I order almost everything for the business from Amazon. There's few reasons for that. Tax wise, all the way to just time and convenience.
Simple, and yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, I've also seen just that the mentality that it's given people.
Yeah. What I'm looking up is on Netflix. It's up at Netflix. Decided to update on my phone when I opened it. I don't use this app much on my phone, but there's a comedian I was watching the other night. I believe he's from Taiwan. I think so. somewhere right around there. And he did this whole sketch. It's about, I got to look it up. Where's it at? It's about coming to America and being an American and talking about like where he's from. Everybody assumes coming to America is like the greatest thing, and it is, but realizing how selfish and self-centered and just driven we are and unappreciative of what we have. And he's talking about this consumerism economy that we have, and it's freaking hilarious as he goes through this sketch on Amazon, and he's talking about like, I want it now. I want it now. And like, I want Amazon to know that when I'm about to press enter, I can hold my hand up and it will just place it in my hand. And if even then, if there is a half a second lag, like it's not fast enough, like same day delivery. Oh my God, I got to wait 4 hours for this thing to show up. And it was just like, and we totally unappreciative of it.
Yeah. And I wish I could say that that's ridiculous. I've never thought those things, but
we do. I know. And that's like, what good humor is. It's because it's real.
It's true. And
and that's why I was laughing so hard. I was just like, oh my God, like you're like 2-day delivery. What the frick? They don't have this thing on single-day delivery. It was pretty awesome. I want to say this guy's name. I don't know why I can't find it.
Now, I will say this, and I encourage people to do this. If you see on Amazon that the thing you're about to buy is coming straight from that company, just go to that company's website and buy it.
Yeah.
I'll do that all the time. I
do that too.
You know, oh, this is coming right from, I just ordered some Mighty Bites for my, which it's a work holding part for the CNC. I went on Amazon to look for it. Saw it's coming from Mighty Bite. I'm like, forget that. I'm just going to go right to them because, I mean, I
no
have
sense in.
I have product on Amazon too, and they take such a big cut. I'm like, and I appreciate, because I have customers who will ask me, hey, well, one, they want to make sure that it's the actual NeoMag and it's not a knockoff, and then two, they'll say, hey, is it better if I order right from you than Amazon? I'm like, yeah, it's way better for me. And so I will say, anybody that's listening, if you take the extra second to click back on the direct manufacturer's website and order from them if you can.
You know what I'm thinking about? Like, now I got to take my credit card out of my wallet and punch it in when I can just push buy now. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's going to take me 22 seconds. And if I'm doing it on my phone, now our phones will scan our card, or if you've got, whatever, Apple Pay or whatever you're using, it's just like,
I think all my devices already have all my devices have my card number in it already. It doesn't matter what it is. It just automatically fills it.
I like PayPal.
Don't do PayPal.
It's just so convenient.
But they're
anti-gun. You don't like them because they're anti-gun.
Well, and they screwed me and some customers over a couple of years ago. Yeah.
We'll talk about that offline. Yeah. Real quick, Ronnie Chang, Chieng, Asian comedian destroys America. It's freaking hilarious. Don't watch it with your kids, but that was funny. Yeah. I want it now. It was funny. We covered some good ground, man. I thought about as we were talking how we could give this away. And what I want to do, maybe you throw in a Century strap, would you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we'll give away a NeoMag, and this one that I'm going to send you guys has our CarryTrainer logo laser etched on it. Craig made us these for giveaways, which I don't just hand them out to anybody. These are special. So we'll give this away and one of the Century straps, which is just like this guy we showed you. So this podcast goes up in all the podcast places. But if you are listening to this and not viewing, or you're listening somewhere other than YouTube, in order to enter, go on YouTube to this podcast. And if you're listening or viewing somewhere else, it all goes up together. So by the time this is published, it'll be on YouTube. And go in the comments and tell us why you think you should win it. And I'm going to read the comments. And you might be like something funny. It might be something serious. And we'll just pick best comment. So go on the YouTube channel, CarryTrainer YouTube channel, and then you got to share this podcast like on your social media, on your Facebook page or somewhere. So if you don't share it and you're lying, I'll find out, and then we'll just click.
And while you're on YouTube, go over and follow our YouTube channel.
I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel.
Well,
bro.
That's the problem. I'm trying to get it out there.
NeoMag, the NeoMag.
Yeah, if you search the NeoMag, I find it. I think it's actually NeoMag USA is what I had to make it.
Okay, NeoMag USA on YouTube. Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And
we
have some good stuff up there.
One of the things I like about you guys is you dudes actually get out and train. You've been at our S12 event before. You've been one of the sponsors of it. Hopefully we'll get you back there again at some point. You guys are out there testing, doing, not just, and you shoot well. You reload with this thing faster than most, and you're about it, not just talking about it. You're being about it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Parting words, man. What would you have to say to the folks listening if they never come your way again, never see you? What would be something, anything that you'd have to pass on as a fellow dude or American?
Just kind of going off our conversation we've had is just, don't be afraid to make sacrifice for a future that you really want. Don't just hope that it might happen or think it must be nice, for that to happen. It can happen. It might take sacrifice and it might cost you. It might even have to be 2 years of sacrifice to get there. But if you make a plan, talk to people that can help you and make that sacrifice, it'll pay off.
I'm making a note here about what you're saying.
Grow a mustache.
Tell you what, man, at SHOT Show this past year, a couple dudes that had sweet stashes. It's just funny. Guys are attracted to it because they want them. Guys that you see guys come up and be like, dude, oh man, nice stash, bro. And the girls will just be like, oh shit. But it just constantly, bro, man, because they wanted it.
It's one or the other. It's either it's either oh man, look at that. Well, it's oh man, look at that. But there's two meanings behind it. It's either oh man, look at that. I want that, or
look at that.
Oh boy, that was good. Yeah, it's a sarcastic. Boy, look at that. That was a good idea.
Yeah. Looks like your razor broke halfway through the shave, son.
Yeah.
That's funny. I appreciate you. You guys listening, I think the intention here wasn't to pitch this product, but you can't, of course, have somebody on that makes a product and not talk about it. Head over to the NeoMag and buy one if you haven't already. I use them, www.theneomag.com. I've always got one in the range bag. I keep one in my travel bag, an extra one, because when I'm at classes, people always want to try them. And if I give them mine, then I don't have one for myself. Support people that think like you do. Support people that want you to be better. Support people that make good products and stand by them. It's not just about what it costs. I understand we all don't have unlimited resources, but that's the thing. We're working towards developing a future of good stuff and a better self. Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you.
Tell Dusty I said hello. Give him a little pat on the butt when you see him in a minute.
I will. We need to do this again, and we'll have him hop on with us.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of you guys out there, be well. If you, again, want to win this, go to the YouTube channel, leave a comment, share that video on your social media, or this video, rather, from the YouTube channel. Be good. Don't be dickheads. Visit our website, CarryTrainer.com, for information about classes held throughout the U.S., CarryTrainer apparel, and upcoming projects. You can also email us at training@CarryTrainer.com for information about setting up your own private course or speaking engagement. Training@CarryTrainer.com or CarryTrainer.com.